Shakespeare is an author whose reputation is arguably larger than his works. And that is something that has always kept me from wanting to dive into any sort of artist when their reputation is that large and I'm not familiar with their work. It's just kind of a turnoff because there's all these expectations you have going into it of what it's going to be. And so with those expectations means a lot more room for disappointment. But a few years ago, I saw the film adaptation of Macbeth, and it was the Coen brothers adaptation that it was very faithful to the source material, and I thought it was excellent with the portrayal of Denzel Washington as Macbeth and Frances McDormand as Lady Macbeth. That got me curious to read the source material, and I have to say it is and does live up to the reputation of William Shakespeare. This story is one of tragedy, one of sorrow and dramatic irony, with the story and the conflict and resolution being laid out essentially in the opening act, with a few witches who give a omen to Macbeth about his becoming king, and it is through that desire and his want and attaining of that goal that the tragedy unfolds. So it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. Another good adaptation I recently saw of this story was Akira Kurosawa's Throne of Blood, and that is a great adaptation, an example of taking a story from a different culture and appropriating it to that culture. Akira Kurosawa adapting this to Japanese culture and history, that in some ways, and in many ways actually, shows a lot of that drama and tragedy in a much more raw way than even the Coen brothers adaptation in the 2010s. What I think is really great about Shakespeare in this particular novel or play, and where I think plays as a form have a lot of strength, is in being able to express that inner conflict that a character feels and is going through, of when they know they're in the wrong. As Macbeth throughout this knows that he is doing something that is contrary to what he knows is right. He allows that dark night of the soul to overtake him and becomes a shadow of himself. And you get to really feel and experience those emotions that come with that through his asides and through his monologues with Lady Macbeth or Banquo or any of the other numerous characters who are in this, each of which are all clearly defined in their points of view. So it makes the interactions that much more palpable. It's easy when reading Shakespeare to feel like an idiot because of how much language is in there that we just aren't familiar with in the 21st century. But that also helps to expand your vocabulary to study and find out the meaning of those words, and it gives you a more vast array of words to use to describe the vast array of emotions that humans feel, rather than reducing those. Simplicity is good, but it can also be reductive to a point of lacking the necessary understanding for what a particular action or scenario might be evoking. This passage here from Macbeth, I think, best evokes that anguish that comes from the whole theme of this play, which is going after what you want when what you want is based off of a lie and a deceit. And he says, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way of dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.